This is Edward Bevilacqua here in Las Vegas at Novum-U. Today is Wednesday, November 21st. This is the day before Thanksgiving, 2018. It's a beautiful blue sky day, a little bit crisp, but here we are. We're going to be talking about our EPW Day 3, which is interviewing. However, to start, I want to congratulate the students in Reno for doing a great job yesterday. Before even graduation, half of the class, or just about half of the class, got employed. Had a great employer, a great national employer up there in Reno. It's the start of the next stage in life, back on track. You know, when you're starting work, you can be absolutely back on track to a purposeful, meaningful life. You're heading towards success. So this is, you know, in our thing, success is what? Money plus meaning and purpose. So this is the first step in that. Now you have a job, and so that's going to get you money. And the job is actually, you know, helping people out, service to others, and so you're on track. Now you just got to keep going. Every day have an attitude. I think the Navy SEALs attitude of yesterday was the only easy day. Be the best attitude to take when you get to work. Part of being a good employee is our thing that we did last week outside of Skull Sites Kingdom. What do you want? You want success. That comes to power. Power is getting other people to do what you want. How do you do that? A simple, elegant formula is bond, add value, and ask. So you did it yesterday. You bonded, you added value, you asked. We kind of did the asking part for you. We got it all teed up, but you deserve the credit because you went in there, you walked in, you got it done, you presented yourself. And I understand there was a lot of excitement on both the side of the employer and our people. Well, next week, or when you start working, it's going to be the same thing. Bond, add value, and ask. Bond with customers, bond with your supervisor, bond with your co-workers, add value, make their lives better, contribute more than you get back, have an attitude of how can I help you, adopt that attitude as opposed to what can I get you to give me, what can I get you to get me. You know, don't manipulate people, don't treat them as ends, or treat them as ends, not as means to your own personal end. And just remember that every day. Bond, add value, ask. It should be down, you know, I think it's getting down into that non-conscious Neil Martin level of your brain. But you know, you're on track now. You're headed towards the goal. And so the next steps would be do that, keep that going. You know, if you were here in Vegas, we would provide housing for you. So you don't have to have that burden of all of the stuff of what do you have to do to get a house that's a decent house. And here we have good housing here. It's in nice neighborhoods, 3-bedroom homes. And our program, the price of that is less than living in a weekly, and it's much better. So we might be doing something with that up in Reno with WellCare, all of their lead with the education and employment pieces of the puzzle. And we're very happy and proud of you all for what you did. And my understanding is for those people who weren't able to interview yesterday, there's still openings. And your instructor, Latasha, who deserves a lot of credit, I think you should give her a round of applause right now, that Latasha and the staff here in Las Vegas, Laura, Raven, are going to be continuing to help get the rest of you employed. Now, this is foundational employment. This is not your career. This is the start. This is just the Jordan Peterson going from a feeling of being somewhat useless to now useful. Now you have a purpose. It's not just standing next to a pile of bricks wondering what to do. You're now picking up the bricks, moving them down there. You're picking up a load, and you're moving it. And it's going to kind of be a heavy load. It's going to be frustrating. You need to reach out to your caseworkers and, of course, Latasha and anybody anybody down here to help when you get frustrated. And like I said at the beginning of class, this is supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. It's not hard. You're not pushing yourself enough. You're not doing the best you can. And I guarantee you will feel better. The harder it is, the more you accomplish, the better you're going to feel. The more neurotransmitters you're going to feel. You're going to have dopamine, getting the task done, getting the job done, seeing it through to the end. And then you're going to have serotonin when you have pride that you actually got it done. And then as you develop relationships with people there, then you're going to start having oxytocin. You're going to feel motivated to go to work every day. So great job. This is the start. So if this was Jeff Bezos, if I was Jeff Bezos, I would say, okay, this is day one to your future. This is day one. We got to keep pushing, not rest on our laurels. It's a Navy SEAL thing of yesterday was the only easy day. Now you have the opportunity, doors are open, you have a path to walk down. And go back to your Jordan Peterson exercise of where would you like to be 3 to 5 years from now? And if you don't change, what's that hell thing over your shoulder that's going to catch up to you otherwise? So great job. Okay. As Nancy King would say, let's take a deep yoga breath for a second, and then we're going to talk about interview. Or was it? Okay. So this is week 4 in our program, and this is the employment planning workshop. This is where we take what we learned in week 2, especially inside our skull side scheme and how our brains work or connect our neurotransmitters or reticular activation system. How knowing how they work enables me to dial in who I need to be right now, and enables me to know how you operate and thus be able to work well with you. Or ultimately, when I get to week 3, which is outside the skull side scheme, now what I want to do is be able to work with you and get you to do what I want you to do in a positive way, in a service to others sort of way, not in a manipulative way, but in a positive way so that we both gain. And so the best way to think about the interview is what we learned last week. Use the David Logan. Okay, how do we, what's one path to success? Join a tribe, nudge it forward. Okay, joining a tribe. If you go get a job at the place you want to get a job, are you joining a tribe? Yeah, you are joining a tribe. You might be joining a couple tribes. You might be joining more than a couple tribes at that work. So one way to become successful, getting other people to do what you want, is to join and then nudge it forward. Nudging it forward would be added value. Then we go to day 2, last week, Seth Godin. Okay, great, how do I nudge it forward? Now we should bracket on the interview part. So the first thing is, Seth Godin, step 1, find something to change the status quo. Well, changing the status quo is, you don't work there. You want to change that status quo, you now want to work there. Okay, how do we do it? Seth Godin says what? Step 2, tell a story. Okay, that's what the interview is. It's about you telling a story of why, and then Simon Sinek on day 3 would be, well, what's the story about? The story is about why you change the status quo. You got to remember, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So you need to convince your story needs to be compelling and convince the interviewer that you are the best person for that position, why you're the best person for that position, why they should hire you. So fast forward now to our elegant equation on how we get people to do what we want. And in this case, the person we want to get to do what we want is the people interviewing us. We want them to do what we want them to do, which is to change the status quo by hiring us. How do we do that? Well, it's our simple, elegant bond add value ask. You've got to get them to like you. And so part of that is you have to be prepared with some David Phillips stories about you that are relevant and compelling. There's some stories that get neurotransmitters going, and the neurotransmitters you might want going that would certainly be dopamine, serotonin. You want them to want to help you. You want them to like you. So bond, add value. The adding value part is, what do they get out of it? You got to remember, the fundamental reason they're hiring you people is to make money or save money. You cannot forget that fact. They're not doing it to help your career, they're doing it to help them. And maybe the interviewer isn't so concerned about making money. Somebody is very concerned about making money. At the end of the day, in businesses, not government jobs, not nonprofits, but in business, real business, people only get hired to make money or save money for that company. And you need to be able to articulate that in the interview. And that's part of your story. And that's on your resume. Also, it's your bottom line orientation. So you're in the interview and you need to bond. How do you do that? Well, it starts the second you walk in the door, because remember from Amy Cuddy, people start forming judgments within the first second of seeing people. And so one good technique would be when you walk in, you're thinking of, okay, how do I bond? Before you walk in, it's I got to start bonding with this person as soon as I walk in the door. And you walk in, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. They know your name. You don't need to say your name. Hi, how are you? You can say, hi, how are you? My name's Ed. But they already know that because they're interviewing you. And at that point, you have the opportunity to make a statement that makes them feel good, like, wow, this is a cool office you have, or this is a really cool building, and man, I couldn't believe how many cars were out there in the parking lot. Things must be great. Don't start off with, yeah, my dog ate my car keys, or some other negative story. Start out on something positive and something that's complimentary to them or their employer. Well, I'm so excited to be here, thank you. I've waited my whole life to have this opportunity. You know, some positive thing. And meanwhile, you're trying to figure out, how do I bond? Get a sense of any personal things that they have in their office. If they like fly fishing, or they have a dog, or they have a trophy, or the world's best dad, or whatever it is, you got to figure out how to bond with them. This isn't about hiring a machine. This is about hiring a person. That's somebody they like. So in the first 50 seconds, first 5 seconds, you have to start making a good first impression in that first 5 seconds. Now you've got 50 seconds to get them to start feeling positive or negative. Part of what you need to do is figure out what kind of mood they're in. If they're not good, oh, hold on. If they're not in a good mood, if they've had a bad day, that's going to tend to exhibit in their behavior, and you don't want the outcome to be bad. So your goal would be to try to reverse the flow of negative neurotransmitters, cortisol, adrenaline, etc., and start getting dopamine. Dopamine would be task accomplished. I've got somebody I like here in their brain. So you got the first 5 seconds, you got to make a good first impression, be positive, upbeat, something complimentary to say about them or their company, or the fact that you've been waiting a long time to get there, you're so excited about this. Just something sincerely positive. Then the next 50 seconds, you got to figure out what kind of mood they're in and how you bond with them. And then the first 5 minutes, it's pretty much, in the real world, it's pretty much a wrap after the first 5 minutes. They know, my hunch would be they've got about an 80% decision is already made, whether you're the person they're looking for, or in the top 3 people that they're looking for, or their attitude is, I like this guy, unless somebody better comes along, I'm gonna hire him, type of thing. Don't think it's a 30-minute or 20-minute thing. It's not. It's a very quick, the way people are, the way we have evolved, we make judgments very fast. Even when you try not to make a judgment, if you're trained as an HR person, I wait to get all the facts. They're fighting their internal feelings about whether they like you. And the more you know about the company, the better. So we're here to tell a story. Our interview is telling a story of why we need to change the status quo. And that has to be why you're going to add value to them. And one of the key things you need to get out right away, if they ask the question, why should we hire you? Because I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. That's why. I'm going to make you more money than anyone else. That's going to get their attention. And you need to be personable. that like you. Don't like you, probably doesn't matter how good you are. You have to be liked because you got to fit in with the rest of the employees. You got to fit into their culture. You should know their culture because you did your research. And your story has to go to why you want to work there and why you add value. So if they say, tell me about yourself, you already watched the video on that, how to tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? You already watched the video on that. But on a high level, Seth Godin, Simon Sinek, you've got to convince them why. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And they already want to change the status quo. You need to get them to choose you. And so you need to have a story of why you're the best person for the job. And part of that is passion. Not only can you do the job, but this is the thing that you want to do. This is the thing you're going to do. And it's with you or one of your top two competitors. And you want to build a relationship with them, but it has to be built upon sincerity. Do not attempt to manipulate them. Don't think of it as a chess game. It's not a chess game. If you think of it as a chess game and you act as if it's a chess game, the second they figure out it's a chess game, you're probably toast. Unless they're looking for chess players, you're probably toast because they need to trust you. Don't ever start relationships out on lines. That's why you need to write your own resume, do your own research, create a story that is your story of why you want to work there. And you need to practice it, you need to know it, you need to get the fact that you're in the interview, you've made the cut. Resume got you in the door, got you to the interview, and fundamentally what their objective is basically, I like this person. As I said yesterday, I like the person on this piece of paper. Is that you? And you want to actually be better than the person on the piece of paper. And that's where your personality comes out. That's where your trustworthiness comes out. That's where it's the Simon Sinek. It just doesn't feel right. Part comes in from our limbic brain. You need them to feel cool, calm, and collected, and confident that you're an honest, trustworthy person who is the best person for the job. And if you do that, unless somebody better comes along, you're going to get the job 100% of the time. And if you don't get the job, don't feel bad. They might not have the opening that you want right now. Then you go through steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You end up at step number 6, just like every actor, just like anybody going to law school or medical school that has a job to pay the bills while they're going to school. That's what you do. No big deal. Keep pursuing your passion. And so watch the videos again. This is where you need to really put a lot of energy into your story. The story is why they should change the status quo. Why do you want to work there? It's got to be backed up with facts of your previous work history. And at this stage, in the higher your job, the more relevant work history you need. So if you're going to try to get a job at, say, 7-Eleven, you don't really need as much experience as if you're going to get a job in a doctor's office as a nurse's physician assistant. So, your experience is important relative to the position that you have. Okay, so anyway, that's it. That's the interview. Be honest, bond, get people like you, be trustworthy, be prepared. And that's it.